Welcome to King's Corner. I'm your host, Christian King, and on today's episode, we're going to be going over our top 10 NFL quarterbacks. Over the past 2 days, I've been giving you my top 5 quarterbacks in each conference. Well, now it's time to give you what I view will be the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL after the 2026 season. And look, there's going to be 2 new names on this list because even though I had our top 5 quarterbacks from each conference, I told you the AFC had a lot more names than the NFC. The NFC only has 3 names on this list. So, without further ado, let's get started. Number 10, give me Drake May. You know, he wasn't good enough to make my cut on the top 5 AFC quarterbacks, but I cannot overlook what he did last year. He was second in MVP running. Some Patriots fans think he should have won it, but there's no way you can say that after watching what Stafford did last year. But Drake May was phenomenal, and I think you giving him A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs, as well as what he already has around him, and I think their offensive line will be greatly improved. I really like what the Patriots are building over there in New England. And I think Drake May, while his numbers will probably stay about stagnant or maybe even improve a little bit, and their schedule is going to come back down to they're going to come back down to earth in terms of record wise. I really do believe that Drake May is a top 10 NFL quarterback. Number 9, Cam Ward. You know, he had a very up and down rookie season, but you got to look what he was working with. He had arguably the worst head coach in all of football last season when he was on the Titans. And then he had an interim coach, Mike McCoy, who used to be a head coach on the Chargers, but he never had consistency last year. And the worst thing you can do for a rookie quarterback is throw him into a situation where he has no comfortability. What Cam Ward was able to do last year, though, was make highlight reel plays. He's a lot like Caleb Williams in that aspect where he can make the highlight plays. But what I see from Cam Ward is I kind of trust him to make the layups a little more when it's there. I'm really intrigued to see how he looks under Brian Daboll because I think Brian Daboll can unlock the best Cam Ward. Honestly, as a Commanders fan, I was nervous last season when Cam Ward was almost going to become a New York Giant. Thank God the Giants won a meaningless game in 2024 at the end of the season to put them into the Jackson Dart sweepstakes, not the Cam Ward sweepstakes. Jackson Dart's a good quarterback. I just think Cam Ward has a higher ceiling. Number 8, give me Lamar Jackson. I've already told you guys what I think of him going into the system. I still think he's a top 10 quarterback, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does better in the system, but I just don't see it as much as I do with the top 7 guys. Really, I'll say the top 5 guys because these next couple guys are all interchangeable, kind of. Number 7, Patrick Mahomes. I know he's coming in off an injury, and that's the reason I have him at 7. A lot of your great quarterbacks, when they come off ACL injuries, their first year back, they're good. They're not great yet. He's got to learn to play with this new less mobility that he's going to be dealing with. He's not going to be the same Mahomes as old, and honestly, I doubt we ever see that old Mahomes. But what I cannot wait to see is the new and improved Mahomes. Because just like Brady, I think Mahomes is going to get better post-ACL than pre-ACL. He won't have as many highlight reel plays. But the NFL, a lot of people have this misconception that your great quarterbacks have to make highlight reel plays. No, your best quarterbacks are the ones where when you turn on their tape, it's boring. Because boring wins. And it's not even boring to me. It's boring to you because they're not running around. When you're running around like that, yes, it looks amazing, but it's going to cause you to lose games. Number 6, give me Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts actually was I almost put him at number 5, but the only reason I put him down to number 6, I still need to see what he is in this new system. And the guy ahead of him is going into another season under this system, which he has won an MVP in. But what I cannot wait to see under Jalen Hurts, I already told you guys, I think him in this system is a perfect mesh. I think he's going to finally be able to go to the next level. Since 2022, Hurts has been stuck at this good to a very good stage. I think he can finally get from the very stage to great to almost elite tier. I really do believe this offense is going to unlock the true Jalen Hurts and shut up a lot of his doubters. I believe that if Jalen Hurts learns this offense and does what I think this offense can open up for him, he will be in line for a huge extension after next season. Number 5, Josh Allen. I told you he was interchangeable with Hurts. The only reason I put Josh Allen ahead is I really do believe the addition of DJ Moore and this Joe Brady offense is going to open things up because so far Josh Allen's been able to put up numbers, but his numbers came down a little bit last year, and that was because there was no good number 1 receiver on the Bills last year. They're a run-first team. James Cook is one of the best running backs in all of football, and that's not going to change this year. It's actually going to open up more for either him or DJ Moore because now with these additions, the Bills have always been one of the best 12 personnel teams, 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 1 running back. But you add DJ Moore into these sets, and maybe Keon Coleman can finally get some confidence to finally start to be the receiver the Bills hoped he could be. I'm a little shaky on that one, but we'll see. I'm hopeful for him. But I think DJ Moore and Josh Allen is a match made in heaven. DJ Moore hasn't had a quarterback like this since his rookie season when he had Cam Newton before Cam Newton screwed up his shoulder the rest of the way. Number 4, Jaden Daniels. Yes, I know last year he only played 7 games, but this is my thing. If you really break down Jaden Daniels' stats over 2025, look at the 4 games he played start to finish. I know that's a very small sample size. It was a wonky year for him and the Commanders, and that's not going to happen again. I can guarantee it. I'd be willing to bet everything I have he's not going to be injured like that again. Jaden Daniels this year is going to get back to – he's going to remind everybody who he is. Jaden Daniels, he could be top 2 after this season. I truly believe that because I think what he has the potential to do this season beats anything out there. There's only one quarterback I think is going to have a better season, and even then, there's question marks behind it. I cannot wait to see what David Blau and Jaden Daniels have in store for the NFL this season. Number 3, Joe Burrow. I told you guys yesterday, I think because of how weak this schedule is, Joe Burrow's in line for a huge season. The reason I keep bringing up the schedule with these quarterbacks is, remember last year, 2 years ago, 2024, the Niners had a very rough, injury-prone season. Everybody's like, is this the end of the Niners? Well, then last year, the Niners had the easiest schedule in football outside of the Patriots, and it allowed them to get back up to 12-5, make the playoffs. But you still looked at it and you went, are the Niners really that good, or was the schedule that bad? You're going to be saying a lot of the similar things probably to the Bengals, but I don't think it's going to be close as similar because what held you back on the Niners was you didn't trust the quarterback. Brock Purdy got injured last year. Mac Jones still looked good. That's why Brock Purdy's not on this list. Brock Purdy is a good quarterback, but Mac Jones looked just as good, if not better at some points in that system. But back to Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow could be an MVP candidate this year. This schedule is not hard for him. He's going to have defenses to have layups on. He's going to be able to put up points, and I'm hopeful that what he said in his press conference, where he said, this year I have a new form of identity in being a leader, vocal leader. I hope he truly means it. I want to see what they do, but I cannot wait to watch the Bengals. Number 2, Justin Herbert. He was my number 1 AFC quarterback yesterday. I know that upset some of you, but I do not care because I cannot wait to see what him and Mike McDaniel do. And there was a person I forgot to mention yesterday. Outside of Ladd McConkey, Marion Hampton is one of the best young running backs in all of football. As a Commanders fan, I wanted us to draft him in the first round of 2025. Sadly, he went right before we got him, and I'm not even sure we would have taken him. But I was hopeful to get him because he's a home run threat. Look what Mike McDaniel did for a Devon Achane. What do you think he's going to do for an Marion Hampton, and what do you think that kind of run game is going to do for a Justin Herbert? Justin Herbert's in line for a career year, and he has had one of the greatest starts statistically to a career through 6 years in NFL history, and I don't see that changing. But we all know who number 1 is. He had to be there. He was the reigning MVP. He was amazing in the playoffs, and if not for a special teams blunder, he'd be in a Super Bowl, winning his 2nd Super Bowl, and hopefully be going back-to-back, even though I told some people I'm pretty sure if the Rams won Super Bowl last year, he'd be retired right now, but I'm glad he's not. Matthew Stafford is the number 1 quarterback in the National Football League. And honestly, if I had been doing this years past, I wish I could have seen where he would rank because I'm sure I would have had him number 1 a lot more years than what I have him right now because it's only the first time I've ever done it. But I cannot wait to do this with you guys every year going forward. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like, please comment. What are your top 10 NFL quarterbacks? Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me I'm stupid. I don't care. But I just want to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys Monday. King's Corner.